Alright, hello guys, it's Damien Avalar, and I'm doing a research project for Mr. Williams, Piano 1, Semester 1, we wrote the research project, and the research project I'm working on is called motets. Motets definition, life, and introduction. Motet is French, and it means word in English. Motet is a style of vocal composition, a meaning of work of music that has gone through many numerous transformations throughout the centuries. Typically a Latin choral composition. A choral is like choir, something of a high-pitched tune and also a low-pitched. It could also be a secular composition and also a soloist. A secular is a definition of religion. The motet began in the early 13th century as an application to a new word to older music. It was specifically added as a wordless upper voice with parts of a descant clasle. I don't know. It's French. Descant, which is in French, is the definition is the meaning to improvise or change something of your works. These were all short sections of an organum. An organum definition is the meaning of any instrument. The 13th century and earlier form consisting of a planchet melody in the tenor. A melody is a tone of pitches. Motet style and rhythm. Motet style into the 13th century to the 2024 has been one style that will be a word which is choral with pitches in your voice, low and high. The motet probably arose from the addition of text to long, melismatic passages of organum. Melismatic refers to a phrase or a composition of employing several distinct pitches for vocalization of a single syllable. The motet took a definite rhythm from words of a verse. As such appeared a brief rhythmic interlude in the middle of the longer, more like a chant-like organum. The practice of a descant over a cadenus firmus marked the beginnings of a counterpoint in the Western music. Cadenus firmus means an existing melody used as the basis for a polyphonic composition. Since poly means many, polyphonic music has many voices in one song. Polyphonic has parts of its own melody. Motets first arose from a medieval tradition of secular motets. These were 2 or 3 part compositions in which several different texts, sometimes in different vernacular languages, were sung simultaneously over a Latin cadenus firmus. Now, once again, was usually adapted from a passage of a Georgian chant. Is motet sacred? After about 16,000, the term motet came to indicate any composition setting a serious non-liturgical but often sacred text. In the 16th century, Venerian composers such as Giovanni Gabrieli wrote motets for multiple choirs and contrasting instruments. The 17th and 18th centuries, the musical style varied from very instrumental company motets for solo voice to large choral motets of Bach, which may have been sung with instrumental accompaniment. In Lutheran Germany, motets were based on text and often melodies of chorals, German hymns. In England, motets were English texts for the use of Anglican services were called anthems. They were either for chorus, full anthems, or for soloist and chorus, verse anthems. Instrumental accompaniment was common in both types. After the end of the Baroque era in the mid-18th century, the motet became less of a prominent form. Now you may say, who is Giovanni Gabrieli, who made motet sacred? Well, it says here, Giovanni Gabrieli was born in 1556, Venice, Italy, and he died August 12, 1612, in his hometown Venice. Giovanni was an Italian Renaissance composer, organist, and a teacher, celebrated and remembered for his sacred music, including massive choral and instrument motets for liturgy. Liturgy means a text of ceremonies, and its words it was used for worshipping a religion. Giovanni Gabrieli studied with his uncle, Andrea Gabrieli, who he regarded with almost a financial affection. The foreign travels and connections to Giovanni owed his chance to become abroad. Giovanni also served under Orlando di Lasso in Munich. In 1584, Giovanni returns to Venice. A year later, succeeded his uncle as a second organist of St. Mark Cathedral, the post he held up for life. After Andrea's death in 1585, Giovanni quickly assumed the limelight in the field of ceremonial music. Though he was never so active as a madrigalist, the publication of his uncle's music in 1587 was a mark of respect, but also included some of his own. Now, for the conclusion of all of this, it is that motet is a French word, and it means, in English, it means word. Motet is a style of vocal composition and meaning of work and music that has gone through numerous transformations throughout the centuries. Typically a Latin choral composition. A choral is like a choir, different with tones, pitches, in someone's voice, high or low. It could also be a secular, and also soloist. A secular is a definition of religion. The motet began in the 13th century as an application to a new text word called word to older music. It was specifically added as a wordless upper voice with parts of a descant clashu. Descant definition is the meaning to improvise or change something in your works. These were all short sections of an organum. Organum definition is the meaning of any instrument. 13th century and earlier form consisting of a planchette melody and a tenor. Melodies is a tone of pitches, and motet was created by Giovanni Gabrieli, who was the most popular for sacred music of motet. Motet was mainly used for choir, since it would have words high or low, and it would just mainly use your voice, and mainly it was mainly used for religious songs in church, but now it can be heard everywhere more than church. For my citations, it will be that I